Welcome back to Montana this morning, everyone. The time is 6:44. There's a look at the Beartooth Mountains this morning. I went up there on the pass, what was that, like 2 weeks ago, and I finally noticed the tooth, the bear tooth. I never knew it was just a single bear tooth formation up there, but I finally saw it with my own eyes, and I was pretty excited when I did notice it. Well, let's go ahead and get on with the news. Getting us started this Wednesday, President Trump returns to the White House today after his summit with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Aides say the statement the two leaders signed in Singapore will serve as a framework for a more comprehensive agreement. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has been assigned to work out the details. He'll lead the U.S. negotiators in the next round of talks with Pyongyang. Also in this morning's headlines, a federal court has signed off on AT&T's $85 billion bid to merge with Time Warner. The Justice Department had sued to block the deal on antitrust grounds, but the judge rejected the argument that combining the companies would lead to reduced competition and higher costs for consumers. Continuing our coverage, the transient accused of carjacking and killing an 81-year-old Billings man is being held on $1 million bond this morning. The victim has been identified as William Joy, a 25-year law enforcement veteran and graduate of Billings Senior High. Joy became Bighorn County Sheriff in November of 1982, retiring in 1986. Joy spent 16 years with the Hardin Police Department before he went to work for Bighorn County for another 9 years. He was abducted from a Billings post office Sunday night, murdered in his own vehicle, and his body was left in a middle school parking lot. The suspect, Donald Gray Jr., a transient from North Carolina, made his first appearance in court Tuesday afternoon. Defense attorneys say Gray had only been in Billings for 1 week when he allegedly abducted Joy at the post office at 15th Avenue West and Broadwater Avenue before killing him. Charging documents state Gray saw Joy getting into his car when he approached him and threatened him with a knife, ordering him to drive away. They drove a couple of blocks before they stopped near Lewis and Clark Middle School. Gray told police Joy became combative and was trying to attract attention, so he stabbed him multiple times in the chest, dumping Joy's body at the school. Gray was arrested by officers a short time later after he was pulled over for a traffic violation. He was transported to the Yellowstone County Jail, where officers say he confessed to the crime. Billings police are now asking for the public's help in locating the murder weapon. It's described as a knife with a 5.5-inch steel blade with a black handle. If you find a knife similar to this, do not touch it and notify police immediately. Montana Attorney General Tim Fox says he served with Joy during his stint as a Hardin police dispatcher. In a statement, Fox says, quote, "I considered him a role model and a friend. He was a hardworking, personable, overachieving person, emblematic of everything that is right with public service." Q2 also learned Bill Joy is the father of newly elected Billings City Councilwoman Denise Joy, who serves for Billings Ward 3. In a statement, Billings Mayor Bill Cole said, "We extend our sincere condolences to Denise and her whole family. The death of a loved one is always hard, but these circumstances are especially heartbreaking. I encourage us all to support and pray for the Joy family as we stand together in the fight against senseless violence in our community." And turning now to court news, the Billings Police Department employee who was fired in February for stealing drug evidence makes her first court appearance. 38-year-old Rollin Strizich is now charged with tampering with public records or information after she admitted stealing close to 1,000 pills collected as evidence in more than 130 cases. Strizich was released on her own recognizance. Under the order, she can have no contact with anyone in the Billings Police Department. In January of 2017, she contacted a supervisor and confessed to stealing the pills from the facility for her personal use. Charging documents state she told her supervisor she was aware of the surveillance cameras within the facility, but says she didn't care if she got caught. It was during the investigation into this case that department officials learned Strizich had sex with 3 Billings police officers on city property, and in some cases while they were on duty. A former Custer County High School science teacher was booked into jail on suspicion of multiple sexual encounters with a 15-year-old Miles City student. 38-year-old Morgan Pett is charged with 6 counts of sexual intercourse without consent, 1 count of sexual abuse of children, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. A Custer County jail employee says Pett was extradited from Alaska, where he was working after he left his Miles City teaching job last year. The girl told authorities the meetings happened in both of their vehicles and both of their homes between December of 2016 and January of 2017. Court documents state the encounter stopped after Pett's wife discovered nude photos on his computer and alerted police. Prosecutors say DNA matching Pett's sample was found in the girl's vehicle. Pett, who faces a maximum sentence of life in prison, is being held in the Custer County Detention Center on $500,000 bail. Meanwhile, the Montana Public Service Commission gave its approval on a deal that includes $4.5 million for the city of Colstrip. On a vote of 4-1, the PSC voted to approve the sale of Spokane-based Avista Corporation to Canadian utility Hydro One. Avista is part owner of Colstrip Units 3 and 4, which are the newer of the 4 Colstrip plants. As part of the deal, Avista agreed to give the town of Colstrip $4.5 million to help with the city's transition to a post-coal future. Still, Avista CEO Scott Morris told the Montana PSC last month he doesn't see the 2 newer Colstrip plants shutting down anytime soon. Montana Commissioner Tony O'Donnell of Billings cast the lone vote against the approval. To complete its sale, Avista also needs the approval of utility commissions in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Alaska. The latest in flood watch. Officials with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, are in Montana this month to tally damage assessments related to springtime flooding. FEMA employees are spread out across the state, working with state and local officials. They're putting together detailed information on what was damaged by the high water and what was spent in terms of overtime and fuel costs during the initial flood response.
So we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that the essential infrastructure that lets us live our everyday life is up and running. I mean, in some parts of the country, and I've seen this time and time again, a single road is your lifeline. That's where you go to get your mail, your groceries, maybe your prescriptions. So we're working hard with the state and the locals to make sure that this crucial infrastructure in Montana is being assessed so we fully understand the pain points in the state, what damage was done as a result of this flooding.
As far as a specific timeline, Green says FEMA workers are working as fast as they can to complete an accurate assessment. Green says citizens who suffered property damage during the spring floods should first contact their local emergency management officials so that information can be included in FEMA's final reports. From the MSUB campus, the university has named Billings banker Ed Garding as the school's interim dean of the College of Business. Garding served as president and CEO of First Bank System from 2012 to 2015 and is still involved at First Interstate as the corporate and government relations officer. Garding is an alum of MSU Billings, earning his bachelor's degree in business administration when the school was known as Eastern Montana College. Garding, who was honored in 2004 with MSUB's Outstanding Alumni Award, will assume his new role on July 2nd. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump Jr. will be in Billings 1 week from Friday to deliver the keynote address to the Republican Party's platform convention dinner. In addition to Trump Jr., Montana Senator Steve Daines, Congressman Greg Gianforte, and GOP Senate nominee Matt Rosendale will also speak at the convention. The GOP dinner will be held at the Billings Convention Center, with Friday's dinner beginning at 7 p.m. This will be a return trip to Montana for Trump Jr. Last spring, Trump Jr. made several appearances in Montana to campaign alongside Republican House candidate Greg Gianforte during Montana's special congressional election. And our last story for you this morning, a Great Falls company has been chosen to begin the process of rebuilding Glacier Park's historic Sperry Chalet, which burned in last summer's wildfire. Dick Anderson Construction was awarded a $4 million contract to begin the rebuild of the chalet's dormitory. Construction will be completed in 2 phases, beginning this summer and continuing into 2019. The first phase of the project will include stabilizing the building as well as installing a new roof and interior walls. The second phase, scheduled for the summer of 2019, includes installing additional protection as the chalet faces wind and heavy snow next winter.